Hello and welcome to the Savvy Corner. My name is Alisa, and if you're new here, I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I make videos about personal and business finances, financial well-being, and money mindset. If you're not new, thanks for stopping by again. In the previous video, which if you haven't seen, I'll link for you on the screen and in the description box, we talked about how to make more money in your business. At the end of that video, I gave you a bonus tip, and that was start managing your relationship with money if you really want to increase your business revenue. I also mentioned in that video that a lot of the financial decisions that we make are related to the feelings we have about money, and sometimes those feelings are not positive. So in this video, we will talk about how to deal with negative feelings around money and how to turn them into maybe some positive or more positive ones so that we can change the results that we get and our financial situation overall. Dealing with negative feelings around money is a very emotional process, and it can be quite a long process. Usually my work with clients lasts between 6 to 9 months, sometimes up to a year or even more, depending on their situation. And of course, depending on your circumstances, the work that you will do to address your negative feelings around money could take a long time. So I'd like to ask you to be patient with yourself and to be kind to yourself and to not blame yourself. These negative feelings that we have around money, they come from certain beliefs, and sometimes those beliefs come from childhood, and they were instilled in us from parents, teachers, friends, siblings, and so on. So please be patient and be kind to yourself. Okay, so what can you do if you are experiencing negative feelings around money? First of all, awareness is really important. Can you name those feelings? Sometimes when I ask my clients this question, they say to me, oh, of course, yes, I feel that I am not good with numbers, or I feel that I don't have enough money. Those are not feelings. When I talk about feelings, I talk about emotions, if you want. So being able to identify the emotions that you have around money is very different to identifying something like, I don't have enough money, which is a thought. So make the distinction between the two. And as the first step, identify those feelings that you have around money, those emotions, and write them down. So to give you examples of emotions, those could be, I feel excited, I feel satisfied, I feel discouraged, I feel sad, I feel inadequate. Can you see the difference there? I feel like I don't have enough knowledge about numbers is not the feeling, but I feel inadequate or inferior could be, and it's an emotion that is a result of that thought of you not being good with money or not understanding money. To make it easier for you to identify those feelings, start asking yourself some questions. You could be asking questions such as, how do I feel about my income? And how do I feel about receiving money? How do I feel about my expenditure? And how do I feel about spending money? How do I feel about my debt, if you have any? How do I feel about my savings? What about my financial past, my financial present, and my financial future? How do I feel about those? So start asking yourself these questions and answer them with an emotion. At the end of the exercise, you will have a list of all of the emotions, or the ones that you could identify at this point in time, that you have around money. Every emotion is determined by a thought that we have. So if you are feeling discouraged, for example, it might be because of a thought such as, I don't understand numbers, I am never going to get enough money to live comfortably, or any other similar thought to that. So behind all of the emotions that you've just identified are some thoughts, something that you believe to be true, which in turn makes you feel in a certain way. So your next step is to identify the thoughts behind the emotions that you have around money. Your thoughts, and therefore the emotions that are generated by those thoughts, will make you act in a certain way. So I want you, based on the thoughts that you've just identified, to think about your daily actions. What is it that you do on a daily basis or on a regular basis, weekly, that supports that thought, that re-emphasizes the thought? So if your thought is, I am not good with money, and the emotion is, I'm discouraged, your day-to-day actions, the ones that reinforce the thought that you're not good with money, could be not opening your financial correspondence, not reading the terms and conditions of financial contracts that you enter into, avoiding conversations about money, avoiding looking at your bank statement, and so on. So what are the daily actions or the weekly actions, the actions that you do on a regular basis that reinforce those thoughts you've just identified? Write them down. Okay, now you have a bunch of thoughts that create some emotions in you, and based on those, you act in a particular way. Now I want you to think about your current financial situation and the results that you see as a consequence of those actions. If you're not happy with your financial situation, with your current results, this is why. It's because you have some thoughts and emotions that make you take some actions which are not giving you the results that you want to have. So let's look at how we can change that. We are going to reverse engineer this process, if you want, and start with the emotion again. And now in this case, I want you to think about, how would you like to feel about money? The feelings that you desire might be in opposition with the ones that you have now. So if you are feeling discouraged, maybe you want to feel encouraged. If you are feeling sad, perhaps you want to feel excited. If you are feeling disappointed, perhaps you want to feel proud, or you want to feel satisfied. How would you like to feel about your financial situation? Write those emotions down. Now, you guessed it, we are going to move on to the thoughts. For you to feel the way you would like to feel, what is it that you would need to believe in order to have that feeling? An example could be, if you want to feel encouraged, then the thought behind that feeling could be something like, any person who has an average intelligence is able to understand numbers. Therefore, you being a person of at least average intelligence, you too are able to understand numbers. Another thought, if you want to feel encouraged, could be, I am capable of dealing with so many complicated problems at work, therefore I am also capable of understanding some numbers. Or it could be something like, anyone who can add and subtract will understand finances. I can add and subtract, therefore I am able to understand finances. I want to encourage you to make these thoughts realistic for you to believe. Don't jump straight into, if my previous thought was, I am not good with numbers, the new thought is going to be, I'm amazing with numbers, I know everything there is to know. Because your brain will not believe that. It's so far-fetched that your brain will refuse to take that as being the truth. So you need to take it step by step and pace yourself and actually create new thoughts that are believable for you. And of course, the next step is, as you guessed it, we move on to the actions. If you were to believe the thoughts that you've just written down, how would you act on a day-to-day basis? If before you were feeling discouraged and you were avoiding conversations about money, you were not reading financial contracts, you were not reading your financial correspondence or not even opening it, how would you act now if you wanted to feel encouraged and your new thought is that you are capable of understanding money? Well, probably your day-to-day actions will be opening your correspondence, reading the financial contracts that you enter into, trying to have conversations about money, even if you don't know everything at this point in time, reading about a financial topic so that you can get familiar with it and you can know more and more and more. And guess what? The more you do those actions, the more you will start to believe that you actually are capable of understanding numbers and that this process is not actually so hard. The more you believe that, the more encouraged you will be to continue to do those actions. And of course, the results that you will see are completely different to the results that you're seeing right now. Okay, let's recap. First of all, identify the negative feelings that you have around money. Secondly, identify the thoughts that are behind those feelings. Then, move on to identifying the daily or repetitive actions that you do to reinforce those thoughts. Look at your results and ask yourself, are my results in line with those actions and feelings? And the answer is probably going to be yes. Now let's start reverse engineering the process. Think about how you would like to feel about money and write down those emotions. If you were to have those emotions, what would be the thoughts behind the emotions that would make you feel like that? Write down the thoughts. If you were to believe those thoughts, what kind of actions would you do on a daily basis to reinforce those thoughts? Write those down and start acting in that way. And soon enough, you will see completely different results than the ones that you are generating now. As I said in the beginning, this is likely to be a longer process. But one of the important realizations that you will have after going through this transformative process is that you have complete power to change your financial situation, or as I like to call it, to rewrite your financial story. In order to do that, you need to take full responsibility for your finances and for your money situation. And that is going to be the topic of my next video. So if you'd like to know more about taking full responsibility about your financial situation and about your results, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video. In the meantime, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.